Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, continuing on with the world building series, specifically with the materials. And before we continue on, I would like to provide a brief shout out to my Patreon supporters. If you would like to join my Patreon, the link is down below. Additionally, for those who want to donate but don't want to become part of my Patreon community, there is a link down below to buy me a coffee. All right, so let us continue. So, in the world, our real world, rock isn't all the same color. Obviously, we see some color difference. However, it's not in the same tradition as the world. And we're going to do something that's going to help meld that all together. By doing so, it'll be harder to see the tiling, and it'll just all around look a lot better. So let us go ahead and get things started. All right, so let's go into the base. Excuse me. Into the base functions here. Right click, material functions, mf underscore color controls underscore wbt. Let's open it up. And I'm going to maximize this so that we can fully see. First thing we're going to do is get basic color controls going. What this means is desaturation, brightness, contrast, and then add tint influence so that we can change the color. It's very basic. Saturate. Then we need to hold down the L for alert. Place that right here. Hold down an M for multiply. Place that right in here. We're going to get an input, and we're going to call it color tint influence. So how strongly does the color influence the texture? And then we're going to, out of the B, input. This one we want to be a vector 3. We want it to be tint 1. I'm just calling it tint 1 for what we're going to be doing after I show you the general concept of this, because there will be 2 tints. But it's important to understand how this specific node how this specific node works. Now we need to hold down the power. No, P doesn't give you power. That's right. We need the power node. It's going to go into the multiply and into the lerp. We need another scalar parameter or input. This one we need to be color contrast. Hold down the 1. We need to be 1. Check mark that. Make this 1. Then check mark this. Hold down the 3. 1, 1, 1. If it's white, that means it's not going to change the color whatsoever. And then before I forget, because I seem to keep forgetting, I'm going to open up one of my base functions, copy this, come over here to expose to library. There we go. Now we're going to hold down the M for multiply. And we need another one of these inputs. This one is going to be brightness. Then we need a desaturation node. And out of the fraction, we're going to go 1 minus. Otherwise, we would need to go, into the negatives. Well, 1 would be desaturated. Anyways, I'll show you. We'll see it in a minute. And then we need an input here. Make it a vector 3. Input. Yep, that's what I thought. Color saturation right there. One. Done to 3. Make this yellow for the moment so we can see it. If I make this a 0, now it's white. But if I don't have it reversing, 0 is saturated, 1 is desaturated. And because I don't want to call it desaturation, I want to call it saturation, I need to 1 minus that. Alright. Then we have here the brightness. The default is 1, 0, it's black. So that would mean 0.5. It's kind of there. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Doesn't really work that well, which is base colors. Contrast, 0 makes it white. Let's go ahead and make this a little more believable here. Texture sample. Default diffuse. Nope, I always choose the BT one first. There we go. Place that in here. Brightness. As you can see, it's getting brighter. Obviously 0.5 means it'll be darker. Contrast, put it at 0. Now we can't see the image anymore. Now it looks like it's getting darker, but the color, just trust me that it's contrast. You'll understand down the road. But this right here is a basic color control. So we want this to be the base color. So that'll stay 0. Tint influence is 1. Then we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Save. In here. Color controls. That's the only one that's important. That one. That one has to be there. You'll see that there should have been no difference. Yep, no difference whatsoever. And just to fully understand this, I'm going to quickly hold down the V so I can get a parameter here. Color controls. 1, 1, 1, 1. This one will be tint influence. Saturation. Brightness. Contrast. So we then plug these in just like this. Then we need another hit V to get this. Color tint. Alright. Now if we hit save, let's take a look at this. This is quite important to understand here, which is why we're taking the time to do it. Alright, so right now there is nothing influencing it. There's not going to be any difference here because it's white. White means nothing changes. So let's go ahead and put it on a light red, something ridiculous. Now if I hit tint influence, the red's going to get sharper. Obviously it'll only go so far into being sharper, or stronger, but that's how it goes. Saturation. If I put this tint influence down to 0 so we can see what's going on here. Here's 1. Here's 50. So we scroll on in here. It's making all of the different colors far more extreme. So as you can see, every single color is here. Let's put the saturation to 2. So now you're seeing a whole bunch more orange. Less orange, more orange. So that's how saturation works. Brightness, as you can see, it's just making everything brighter. And then contrast is making everything darker. So it's making the colors pop more. And then if you want to go to brightness, it's just simply how to control it. Because now if I go to 1, there we go. That is how this works. It's important to understand because this is something that can be screwed up if done incorrectly. Okay, it's not wanting to do it for me, so let me do this. Okay, there we go. For some reason, hitting these arrows doesn't change the variables, the appearance back. Not sure why. It just never does. So this episode has gone as long as it can. In the next episode, we are going to make it to where we can actually change the color based off of certain information so that we can have different shades of 2 different colors. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.